Boy, do I have a treat to show you today. This is our 2.5-inch Finesse Leech. This is a very versatile bait. I don't know a single game fish that doesn't eat a leech. Everything from crappie to panfish, bluegill, bass, trout, walleye, I mean everything eats a leech. It's 2.5 inches long, has a really thin tapered tail there at the back. Even has some detail kind of up by the head. Nice thing about our little leech is there's a little bit of meat up by the head. This makes it a lot easier to rig, makes it a lot more durable. If this thing was just super thin all the way through, it wouldn't be very durable, and you wouldn't have a lot of meat there to do different rigging options. So you kind of get the best of both worlds with this leech. A little bit of thickness up there by the body, but that tail just dances. And we're adding this, and of course all of our signature colors. I think that's Junebug there, Musk there, even the Fathead Minnow looks pretty good. Electric Watermelon, which is a favorite with a lot of guys. And last but not least here, just plain black. I think there's even 3 or 4 new colors that are on the website that I don't have here, and you'll just see more and more coming down the pipeline. We like this one. The easiest way to fish this, and probably the simplest way, is just throw it on a jig head. This is just a size 4. We'll just go ahead and get into all the different ways you can fish this. I'll just kind of touch on the basics. This is a tungsten jig head. You'll find these on our website now. We offer a whole range of tungsten jig heads. This is a size 4. Size 4 is actually a pretty good sized hook for this leech. You can see it reaches all the way back into the meat of the body, just past the last bit of detail there. I'd say that's darn near a perfect fit. And you can cast it out there, swim it back, jig it back, pop it back, drag it on the bottom. A jig head's just probably the simplest and easiest way. Next would be just fish it on a jig head. This is just our lead jig heads here on a sickle hook, also a number 4, and fish it under a float. We have these on our website now as well. These are new. This is the slip combo float. You can peg it with a little rubber peg, also on the website now. There's a whole bunch of new stuff on the website for those of you who haven't checked things out in a month or two. A lot more rigging options that will complement a lot of our baits. And of course I set it here pretty shallow just so I can show you on video, but I would set this nice and deep if I was fishing this on a slip float. But really easy to fish. Just thread the slip float on, thread it through the stopper, put your little rubber peg stopper on, and you're in business. But this float can also be fished just like a standard float. So instead of threading it through this peg stopper, you can just thread it through the float, jam the peg in there, and fish it as a fixed float. But most guys fishing this leech are going to fish it on a slip float, nice and deep, where most of the leeches hang out. Another thing you can do is fish it on a little micro Texas rig. This is a number 2 EWG hook, just a wide gap hook, and a little micro 1/32 tungsten bullet weight. Those can also be found on our website, and you can peg it if you want to keep that weight, you know, right up against the nose of your leech. Keep it down there on the bottom, or you could be pretty tricky and you can slide it away and let it be kind of like a pseudo Carolina rig. So lots of different little things you can do with these baits. A lot of ultralight and BFS guys are gonna really enjoy all these little rigging options. Other thing you can do is the good old drop shot. I fish a lot of drop shot when the fishing gets tight or tough and the bite gets difficult. Drop shot never fails me. Just fishing it there on a little 1/16 tungsten drop shot weight that you can, of course, find on our website, and a number 1 or a size 2 or even a size 4 drop shot hook. You can either thread it onto the body like that, makes it a little bit more durable. Also, I think I get a better hookup ratio when that hook is a little farther back into the body. Or if you prefer to just nose hook it, you can do that too. This is the electric watermelon color here. And of course, just dance it on the bottom, move it slow. Keep in mind, leeches do not swim fast like a bait fish. They kind of undulate and move through the water. So this bait should be fished on a fairly slow presentation. So all you're looking to do is just get movement in that tail and just cover some water on the bottom. Another thing that's pretty popular these days is hover strolling. Just a vertical hang there with the leech. If you're on a boat or out there on open water, hover strolling, you can just entice fairly picky fish that aren't really that motivated to eat. You can entice them with the hover strolling rig. A little tungsten nail weight there at the head, and just a plain jig hook, size 4 or size 2. And you thread it farther away from that nail weight, just so you can get this balanced, essentially vertical presentation, and you can just flutter that tail right in front of the fish. So you can find both of those, of course, on the website as well. Let's see, what else? We have our micro swim jigs. These pair really well with the Finesse Leech. This one here is untrimmed. This is a full Finesse Leech on our little micro swim jig. Fish it under a float. You can free fish it just with the jig itself. But really under a float, I would say this is a good little rig with this leech. Just let it hang and let that tail just bounce in the waves with the wind on the water, and just let the tail do its thing. So very deadly little presentation. We also have some smaller fixed floats too. These are called carrot floats. These fish well on these little swim jigs in shallower water around brush piles, things like that. What else? We have our micro spin jigs. This is made to be fished near the bottom. This one I did trim the leech a little bit. I cut off just the tip of the nose right there, just about I would say 1/3 of an inch. And it pairs really well on these little micro spin jigs. Bass love these little guys, and they are kind of more designed to be fished near the bottom, but you could hang them from a float or just free fish them like you do the micro swim jigs. Oh, let's see. Oh, I forgot this one. This is a little cheb rig. It has a little tungsten ball weight there on the front that will allow this bait to move and rattle around on the bottom. There's a number 2 Finesse EWG hook there. But as you can see, I mean, a million different ways to fish this bait. I just gave you a few ideas on what you can do with this, but you're going to be seeing us fishing this little guy a lot. This is turning into kind of just a very versatile and easy bait to fish, and it really, really pours well in all of our colors too. It just, the color combos and this thin tail just blend together so well. So you're going to like them, and you can find them on moondogbaitco.com.